Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And in today's video, we got a super mashup collab, the intersection of Ray from Bartertown conglomerate, Thomas G and his deletion of his crypto channel, FUD Farm, Spider-Man, and ChatGPT, and how this all relates to what's wrong with DeFi. Yes, I'm gonna thread all this together, and trust me, it will make sense. But it is quite the interwoven web that I have to pull together, but it is all 100% related. So as you guys know, for quite a while now, I've only covered drip and the animal farm. And I mentioned before about projects that I did put on here, one that rugged and two that didn't actually really help drip that much. So I'm just only focusing on drip. And I mentioned also in stuff like this, and in my gambling video, that crypto is just basically robbing Peter to pay Paul right now in DeFi specifically, because it is just gambling. So the solution that I proposed multiple times now on this channel is that we need to get away from the gambling Ponzi-nomics that is DeFi and start getting real solutions. And recently there was a project that rugged that I didn't get into, but Jonathan, aka now FUD Farm, he covered this here, and he's had a couple videos, this one and this one. And this one, he seemed like he was pretty upset, and yeah, his community did indeed get wrecked. He covered an AMA with them, I believe, and I don't remember the exact amount of money, but we know that he gets paid quite a bit, or a decent amount, we'll just put it that way. And then of course the views, I've shown you guys on my channel what the views do. So it's kind of tough to turn that money away, even if you're doing your own research, you want to promote a project. And as I mentioned you guys before on my channel with videos like this, that whenever you promote it, then you actually end up being the one making the gains at the expense of your community if it rugs. And on the best case, making the gains at the expense of your community if it's just not sustainable. So it's a lose-lose in DeFi. So he made this video, and then this one, I don't know this guy DeFi Murdoch, but basically they created this Telegram group where they want all of us content creators to kind of pledge together and try to elevate the space. And the reason I'm coming to that is because I actually commented on this video, and I said, I think the solution is to work together on a platform that actually adds value and utility and moves away from the speculative investment moonboy optics of crypto. I think gamble plays, because this is what Jonathan always alludes to. He's telling his viewers, hey, I'm just gambling. Don't follow my words. I think gamble plays is the problem. We need to stop being degen gamblers and start helping the space grow up and mature. I'd love to chat with you about this digital marketplace solution I pitched on my channel. If we band together as content creators and stop promoting the gambling and force the devs to make real utility apps, technically dApps, we will stop having these problems. The gambling is easier to scam behind and just quickly pump and chill. True utility takes time and effort and will weed out the scams automatically. So this was me trying to tell him, hey, like, look, yeah, we all have a platform, and stop trying to get the quick cash, because we know that they're gambles and we know that someone's going to lose. And you know, if you're a content creator, that you have a better chance of winning and everyone else in your community has a chance of losing, because that is why you're gambling. It's like, we know it's gambling and you know it's addictive and you know it's not sustainable, but yet you promote it anyway. And then you tell people, hey, don't do your own research, don't follow me, but here's what I'm doing. And we know that people will follow in your footsteps. So it's like, to me, it just seems irresponsible. But he responded with, should YouTubers all stop gambling online? Should a YouTuber be muzzled if they're using their own money to gamble? If others ask to gamble fully knowing the risk of that gamble, should the YouTuber be able to invite them? These are all questions I thought a lot about. I believe the ethical issue is not gambling. I have no problem with that. I believe the ethics lie in how we disclose what we are doing. I want to be so clear that I'm not investing, I'm gambling. This means I could lose to another player or to the house at any time. Knowing these risks should inform a user on whether or not they should watch my journey or participate. I'm not here to promote or convince. I will document the entertainment value, but will always come with multiple warnings and overemphasis on risk and full disclosure of the wins and losses as to be fully transparent. This was a great argument he brought up. So it's about kind of like being able to do what you want to do, like the freedom of speech platform that Twitter is trying to get to. And I totally agree with that. But my response was, great question. And there is a moral gray area. And I do believe that is the case. It's a moral gray. As a marketer, you know full well the effects of human psychology, dopamine reward centers. So ask yourself honestly that even if you disclose you're gambling and not investing and people shouldn't do what you do, and that it's extremely risky and you're just documenting your journey, how much of this gets lost in the dopamine reward centers and leverages the addiction concoction of fast money gambling to where people are not making the right decisions regardless of the labels. We see it all the time with alcohol, fast food, drugs. It doesn't matter how you dress it up. At the end of the day, it's the chemical levers being pulled in the brain. So the question is, as a YouTuber, can you accept that moral gray, knowing you are leading people to the slaughter because they are slaves to their chemical impulses just like anyone else? So this was my response to him, because we already know he is a marketer, as he said, right? And what little I know about marketing and psychology is that no matter what, people can't always override these dopamine triggers. And that's how mass marketing is actually done really, really well. They know what levers to pull. Even though you know you're being marketed to, you actually become, for lack of a better word, a slave and susceptible to that. Some people, you know, more so than others. But in this regard, if I know that gambling is addictive, I know that social media virality can influence what people do, and I know people are watching me, what moral obligation, in my opinion, do I have to the people that watch me? Same way we look up to athletes and celebrities. We say, well, they should know better, you know, because they're in the public eye. And it's a gray area. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but at the end of the day, it comes down to individuals' persons' moral code and values. And that's what I'm going to dive in this video. So that was my response to him. I didn't get a response back from him on that, but I did join the Telegram group that he put out. So I am waiting to see what is produced in here. So there's this DeFi influencers pledge. Can make this bigger. So a couple YouTubers have joined, and he said you have to be a YouTuber only. So you got to put your channel in here. So I'm interested to see what kind of document they create and what it looks like. I personally think we need to move away from it, but all content creators are going to do whatever they feel is best. And at the end of the day, it's very hard to resist the allure of quick, fast money. So I totally get it. Can't demean them for doing that, but that's just not my approach to it. So what did Thomas G and Ray have to say about this? Well, I don't have Thomas G's response anymore. So he has recently gotten out of crypto. Like, I'm sorry, not crypto, rephrase. He got out of the YouTube piece of crypto. So this video here, I'm not going to play it, but he basically said he finally deleted his channel. Previously, he had hidden videos and so that he could come back to it, but now he's actually fully deleted it. And there was a video that Thomas G made about Jonathan and communities getting rugged, because if you followed Thomas G before, you would see that he had gone back and removed the drip videos, and he started to say he wanted to elevate his content, very similar to what I'm saying, because he feels he has a moral obligation to the viewers. And I totally respect that. And he decided to just quit YouTube altogether. He's still gonna be in crypto, and he's still gonna be on Twitter, so you can follow him there. So I get that, because this again crosses into that moral gray that I was talking about, but some people have more bright lines on morals and values. And this leads me to what Ray put in this video here. So he doesn't directly mention FUD Farm, but we know he's talking about him in this video. And Ray was commenting on the KYC doxing aspect, because Jonathan specifically was saying we need to have devs doxed. They need to be doxed. I'm not going to do any AMAs unless they're doxed. Dox, KYC. And that was his big way of pushing forward his narrative of who he'll be doing stuff with. And Ray, basically in this video, was saying, well, does KYC and doxing actually help? What's more important? And I agree with Ray in this, that KYC and doxing is nice, but at the end of the day, you want a code that works. And he mentioned Sam Bankman-Fried, and everyone knows this guy was doxed. He was talking to politicians. If people want to be bad actors, they're going to be bad actors. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what you do. They still haven't gotten the money back from Do Kwon. He's hiding somewhere. That wasn't technically bad actor. That was the code being exploited the way it was written. And then they haven't gotten any of the money back from Sam Bankman-Fried, and he's pleading not guilty. So doxing doesn't do anything, in my opinion. KYC doesn't do anything, in my opinion. Yes, it's great to have, and it gives people a little bit of warm fuzzies, but if you want to be a bad actor, you're going to be a bad actor. So since we know that is the inevitable outcome of the space, what can we do to prevent that? And one awesome thing that somebody mentioned in here is, so shout out to Crypto Lightsaber. People forget what KYC stands for. It's know your customer, not know your dev. Devs ain't the customer. They are the seller. Only a dumb dev would pay for a bunch of money to show someone ID. I want to elaborate on that because that is super, super important. KYC, know your customer. So this is a call to you content creators, specifically FUD Farm. Who is your customer? Know your customer. Who's your KYC? Your customer is everyone watching your video. And what does that mean to know them? Know them means to understand that they are going to follow your degen plays, that they are going to follow behind your footsteps, and they're going to follow your gamblings, because that's exactly what gets you the clicks, and that's what gets the views, and that's what sells. So if you know that's going to happen, what, again, moral obligation do you have to your community? That's just my thoughts on the KYC process. So to each his own, but I feel personally that we have a responsibility to that, and it's best summed up in the epic words from one of the, in my opinion, not so great Spider-Man movies. But let's just play that clip from Uncle Ben. You guys should be pretty familiar with that. Just a quick message, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. This helps bring brand awareness to the channel, as well as all Forex Shark related projects. Thank you.
This guy, Flash Thompson, he probably deserved what happened. But just because you can beat him up doesn't give you the right to. Remember, with great power, this guy...
Oh, it got cut off. But you know the rest. With great power comes great responsibility. And I'm not saying that, you know, being a content creator is the equivalent of Spider-Man by any means. But you do have, in my opinion, as a content creator, just me, a responsibility to your audience. And that power you wield is showing people information that they are going to use as part of their DYOR. We tell them, do your own research. But again, as I mentioned, it is very likely, due to the susceptibility of finance, social media marketing, dopamine reward centers, all that stuff, that is going to get lost in the sauce. And they're going to look at you and say, okay, he did this, I'm getting in. Even with all your disclaimers about don't do this, don't do that, don't follow me. Look at cigarettes, look at alcohol, look at drugs, anything like that. They have plenty of warning labels on it. But you see something that looks cool, or a friend peer pressured you into it, whatever the case may be, you override your conscious decisions and make an impulse instead, and then boom, there you are, addicted at the gambling table, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter what we color it, these chemical responses in our brain happen the same way. You are nothing more than an electrical and chemical processing plant. So it doesn't matter what the impulse is. Is it gambling? Is it drugs? Is it alcohol? Is it porn? It doesn't matter. It all affects the brain the same way. So that's what's important to understand about know your customer, aka know the person watching your videos, and that they are all human beings and susceptible to this information. So this leads me back to me personally, what I've decided to do on my channel, and it comes from, I guess, what I was exposed to early on in my career, which was the Air Force. So the Air Force has 3 core values, and the very first one, and it literally says integrity first. An airman is a person of integrity, courage, and conviction. They must be willing to control their impulses and exercise courage, honesty, and accountability in order to do what is right when no one is looking. So we always summarize integrity as doing what's right when no one else is looking or no one else is around. So again, if you're a content creator and you know that the likelihood of even one person watching your video is going to do what you're doing, and you also know, because you stated you're gambling, that means you can lose. And more than likely with gambling, you always do lose. Let's just cut that straight to the chase. Then that means you know that the likelihood of someone following your footsteps is either going to lose just like you or lose to you, because they're coming in after you. So to me, integrity means knowing that that is a very likely percentage case. So that means I should not be promoting this regardless. But again, that's just me. Everybody has their own moral code to stand by, their own values, or whatever the case may be. And that's why I responded to Jonathan and said it is a moral gray. And he's going to do whatever he feels is best, as well as the rest of the space. And as well they should. But how does this tie into my last piece, which is ChatGPT? So I wanted to actually get a consolidating article that tied all this together. So I went ahead and asked ChatGPT to write me an article on these topics. If you are not familiar with ChatGPT, that's not the video for you, but let's just say it is a revolutionary tailwinds in the space. So I asked it a simple question: write an article that explains why cryptocurrency investing is gambling and why gambling is addictive to both the gambler and people watching. Cite scientific references that explain the reward and pleasure centers of the brain and how easily it is for people to fall prey to this. So I wrote the article. Then I asked it to add references for growth in these types of videos on social media like YouTube, and how viewers are incentivized to watch this style of content, explain the virality of YouTube videos in relation to views and clicks. So I didn't want to do all the research. I asked ChatGPT to do it. It gave me an article. I copy and pasted it, put it on Medium, and now I can cite it for you guys with authority. So here's a couple highlights. So the brain on cryptocurrency investing and gambling. The same pleasure areas in the brain are triggered by both gambling and cryptocurrency investment, specifically the release of dopamine and neurotransmitters linked to pleasure and reward. This dopamine surge has the potential to become addictive, making us constantly seek for that euphoric state. Dopamine is released by the brain's reward system, which research has revealed is quite active in gambling addicts. In actuality, the brain's reaction to winning in gambling resembles the brain's reaction to drugs like cocaine, hence what I said earlier. Social media and cryptocurrency investing, a dangerous combination. This is where social media comes into play. On sites like YouTube, there have been a lot more videos on gambling and trading in cryptocurrency. However, this kind of content can also be dangerous because it may cause people to make their investment decisions on impulses and may even be foolish ones. Additionally, there can be a conflict of interest because the makers of these videos may receive compensation for endorsing particular investments or business methods. This is exactly why communities get wrecked, because the DApp creators come to these guys and go, hey, you got a big community, here's $10,000. Can you just talk about my project? And with that as the forefront, you think you're doing your own due diligence. But remember, you're now have been impressed upon because of the money. So you can't actually unbiasedly view it because it's colored by the amount of money, even if you haven't taken it yet. If someone just says, review my project, I'd like to do an AMA with you, I'm willing to give you $10,000. Right there, once you start to look at the project, it's colored from the $10,000 lens. You automatically cannot change that. That's the way the brain works. So you're going to be, if you choose to say yes, you're doing it with a bias, even if you think it's unbiased. And last, let's see, the bottom line, people must be aware of the dangers and proceed with caution when engaging in these activities. It's crucial to remember that not all content on YouTube or other platforms is reliable, and some creators may have financial incentive to promote certain investments or strategies. And then it gives all these awesome references that it pulled out from legitimate scientific review journals. So what I think, as I told you guys multiple times already on this channel, the solution going forward is to elevate the space. Stop gambling. Stop being a degen. Stop accepting or stop creating opportunities for your community to get wrecked. Stop making it look this way to the external media where people are like trying to regulate the space because of all these rug pulls and gambling. Let's elevate it as a community. If you have a platform, then instead, and devs come to you, go, yo, I'm not getting into another 1% ROI DApp. I'm not getting into another miner. I'm not getting into another shitport. How about you go back to your dev team and build something with utility? Build something that can actually elevate the space. This way, one, it's going to cause devs to have to build something that has utility. So such as the marketplace idea I have, if they build that, then that means everyone who uses it is already winning, regardless of what happens on the back end. If you are getting goods and services from someone, you're perfectly fine with that. Now, granted, you'd like to make maybe a percentage of that transaction fee, but if the service you paid for is working, such as, for a better example, my fitness training, if I give you the fitness training in exchange for your cryptocurrency, you don't care on the back end what I do with that money you gave me, because you got the service you wanted. Whether or not it was good or not is different, and that's where you can leave a review or tell other people to not buy it, same way you do on Amazon with other products, right? So that is the solution. Stop using your reputation in exchange for a couple bucks. But again, I can't make people make that decision. Everybody's got their different level of acceptable morals and values, but this is my personal take on it and how I am going to continue approaching it. So I believe in the drip ecosystem and the utility that Forex is bringing. And that is also why recently I haven't even actually said on any of these videos, probably over in 2 or 3 months, that now is a great opportunity to get in, or you should be buying now. I'm like, yo, I'm in, and I'm just going to continue to improve my position, but I'm not even dollar cost averaging or adding a bit more capital, because I need the utility to be added, because I understand that by itself, drip needs something else. But the animal farm, that is a great one, but I still don't promote it. But that one does have amazing utility with the reapplication and the other stuff that's being on that on top. So anyway, long story short, content creators band together, hold the devs accountable, make them build true utility. And if you want to join a team or group like that with me to help build that out, I can use all the help I can get. And I think that adding the, like I said, digital marketing place is the solution going forward. And it will make us look a lot better to the big marketing or media channels and things of that nature, and DeFi stops looking like the wild, wild west and scams and rug pulls and starts to actually elevate, which makes it very attractive for the new capital on the outside who's sick and tired of fiat inflation and losing their buying power. So that's the solution. Band together, add utility. Anyway, hope you found this video helpful, insightful, and if you did, smash the HBO special with the Help a Brother Out. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible. See ya. Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.